DmC Devil May Cry. It was published by Capcom and developed by British game studio Ninja Theory, and it's kinda shit. But it also isn't. I mean, it was a reboot that fans didn't like, but it wasn't a bad game. Matter of fact, I say it's not even the worst game in the series. But that's besides the point. Today I want to talk about how even though it was a reboot of the series and developed by a different studio, it was still a pretty good game. So that's what I'm going to talk about. Now before I get started, let me just say the person that decided to reboot Devil May Cry is a fucking idiot. Anyway, it's January 2011 and a trailer for a new Devil May Cry game is out. You click on it because why wouldn't you, and you watch it. After watching this trailer, you realize that this Dante isn't Dante. He's a scrawny teenager with black hair that looks like a fucking heroin addict. So you stop watching the video, go to sleep, and ignore it like it was a bad dream. Except it wasn't. It was a trailer for a game that would come out 2 years later. DmC Devil May Cry. Released in 2013, DmC Devil May Cry is an action-adventure game published by Capcom and is, or was supposed to, be the 5th installment in the Devil May Cry series. Capcom gave the job of developing and rebooting DmC to a British game studio called Ninja Theory, known for their games Heavenly Sword, Enslaved, and Kung Fu Chaos. This was my first ever Devil May Cry game. I played the Xbox 360 demo back in like 2013, and I bought the definitive edition 2 years ago. I finished the game in about a week, and at the time I put it in my top 5, so it has something going for it. But at the same time, it had its ups and downs, so for that reason I'd like to separate this video into different sections. First I'll talk about the gameplay, then the story, then the development history. So let's get started. This game added a lot of new features to the gameplay while still improving on the older mechanics. You still like shoot, jump, and attack, but like, for example, instead of having to lock onto an enemy and press the jump button to dodge, the dodge is mapped to the right bumper, and there's like now a dedicated launch button, which makes doing shit easier. It also introduced Angel and Demon mode. You can use these by holding the left trigger, Angel mode, which replaces your sword with an angelic scythe called Osiris, and by holding the right trigger, Demon mode, which gives you a demonic axe called Arbiter. The scythe is used for fast and wide attacks, whereas the axe Arbiter uses slow heavy attacks, and following that theme, there are 2 forms of grappling. Angel Lift, which pulls Dante towards the object or enemy, and Demon Pull, which does the opposite. Also, there's an Angel Boost Dante can use by pressing the dodge button while holding the left trigger. Later on in the game, you can get an angelic ninja star weapon called a Finian, and a pair of demonic gauntlets called Eric's. All of these weapons can be used in different situations, as certain weapons do more damage against different enemies. All of them were useful during my playthrough, and swapping out weapons while changing between Demon and Angel mode was the best way to keep combos going and get a good style ranking. The lack of a lock-on system is noticeable, and it's dumb. Having a lock-on system is good, and not having one isn't good, which is why they added a lock-on system in the definitive edition of the game. Matter of fact, lots of things were improved in the definitive edition. Color-coded enemies take damage from all weapons, higher FPS, a lock-on system, new modes, and the Devil's Trigger is actually useful. The combat system in the game is simple enough for new players to enjoy, but complex enough for DmC veterans to still have fun. Now onto the enemy design. The enemy design in the game is pretty good, especially when compared to other DmC games. It doesn't have For's problem of having a great combat system, but also having enemies that are annoying and aren't fun to kill, and it also isn't DmC 2. So, some enemies can be killed faster by using certain weapons, some need to be demon pulled or angel lifted, and some need to be hit with a targeted weapon first. There's enough new enemy types being introduced and enough weapons being given to you that the combat never really gets boring, except for when you're on higher difficulties and enemies just take too long to kill. The level design in DmC is pretty linear, while still having branching paths for you to explore and find things like power-ups or secret missions. A small problem I had with DmC 5, that I feel no one else had, was that in certain areas there was no clear path, and you really just had to walk around until you found enemies or a puzzle. Meanwhile, I never encountered that problem in DmC Devil May Cry. The actual game part of DmC is pretty good, to be honest, and there was no point in my playthrough where I was annoyed or frustrated. But the other part was the not good part. Let's get into that. Also, the platforming was pretty lit. Shout out whoever did that. The game takes place in Limbo City, a place controlled by powerful demons while the less powerful ones reside in Limbo, a demon dimension. And in this game, you play as Dante, except he's a bit different. Instead of being a legendary devil hunter, or whatever this is, he's a bum. A guy that knows demons exist and allegedly fights them in secret, but in reality he's just wasting away drinking, eating junk food, and having sex. That's until a demon drags him into Limbo and a girl called Kat tells him he's in danger. He kills the demon and accepts Kat's offer to meet her boss Virgil. I wonder who that could be. Virgil is the leader of the Order, an organization attempting to expose demons and release the world from their control. Virgil wants Dante to join the Order, and Dante learns that him and Virgil are long-lost brothers and Nephilim, the children of an angel and a demon, and the only things able to kill the Demon King Mundus. Their mother Ava was killed by Mundus, and their father Sparta was condemned to eternal torture, not before getting his sons to safety, wiping their memories, and giving each of them a sword, Rebellion and Yamato. After learning about their past, Dante agrees to help Virgil and bring down Mundus. With help from Kat, Dante takes down Mundus' operations and the demons that control him. During this period of time, a SWAT team raids the Order's headquarters and massacres all of Virgil's followers. Dante rescues Virgil from Limbo, but can't save Kat from being beaten and kidnapped. After this, Dante captures Lilith, the demon carrying Mundus' unborn child, and offers to trade her for Kat. During this exchange, Virgil game ends Lilith, killing Mundus' hair. After this, Mundus destroys most of the city in an outburst that weakens the Hellgate, which is a portal to the demon world. Kat shows the brothers a plan to infiltrate the tower and defeat Mundus. Dante draws Mundus out while Virgil seals the Hellgate, making him mortal. Dante kills Mundus and Limbo collapses, making demons visible to humans and causing chaos. After Mundus dies, Virgil reveals his true intention, to rule humanity in the Demon King's place. Dante and Virgil fight with Dante winning and Kat stopping Dante from killing his brother, who leaves in disgrace. With his hair now completely white, after using all of his demonic power, Dante vows to protect humans and hunt down demons. And to be honest, the story isn't bad. The story itself is decent, but the problem most people have with this game is the characters. More specifically, Dante. Apart from the obvious changes to his physical features like his lack of lang white hair and a red trench coat, he also just has a different personality. The old Dante was cocky, where this one comes off as an arrogant prick. He's in no way likable and his dialogue just makes him seem like a dickhead. Where the old Dante is cool and stylish, this one dresses like a homeless person. They changed the design to appeal to a younger demographic, but it just didn't work. Giving him short black hair and letting him curse doesn't appeal to a younger demographic. It just pisses off your fans. But while we're on the topic of design, Devil May Cry was developed by Ninja Theory. The people at that place were obviously fans of Devil May Cry, and they really tried their best, but they were set up for failure, bruh. Capcom asked them to do an impossible task, but I still think they did a pretty good job. At the end of the day, the majority of people could never be happy with a DmC reboot. Capcom asked them to change Dante so he could appeal to a younger demographic, but they missed the mark, and in all honesty, the Dante before in the trailer was probably going to be better than this one is, even being an edgy fucking crackhead, bro. Like, he's just cringy, bro. Simple as. The nigga has an annoying presence. DmC is a flawed game, but a good one regardless. It could have been received better if it was based on a different franchise, or maybe just a completely new IP, but it wasn't. It was a DmC reboot with a mid-story and an even worse protagonist. So in short, DmC 4 solos. Nigga.